This is the brand new BMW 5 Series. It's the 8th generation version of BMW's world-famous saloon, and it's the first 5 Series that's been designed to come with an internal combustion engine and as a pure electric car. Yes, you can get it as an EV called the i5. And not only that, BMW has also revealed an M-tuned version with more than 600 horsepower. That's in the same league in terms of power as the M5 competition. But that crazy figure is just one of the reasons why the new 5 Series is the most important BMW you'll see all year. And I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it, because I'm Matt Watson and you're watching CarWow.
Buy, sell,
CarWow.
Even though the new 5 Series and the electric i5 are completely different underneath the skin, they look almost exactly the same on the outside. Just like how BMW's flagship 7 Series looks very similar to the i7 electric car. Thankfully, both versions of the 5 Series have a wide double kidney grille instead of the huge bug bunny style grille on the latest 7 Series. You can actually choose between a conventional looking grille and an all black M Sport design, and you can get both with a light up frame like on the i7. The M Sport looks more aggressive, but unfortunately it has a huge sensor that sticks out of the middle, which just looks a little bit ugly. I actually prefer the look of the standard grille with shiny vertical bars, as these hide the sensor really well and makes the front look much neater. I quite like the shape of the headlights as well. They're full LED like every car has these days, but they also have a kink at the bottom that gives them a double bubble outline, and this sort of reminds me of the 4 round headlights on the old E34 5 Series. I'm not a big fan of the black surrounds for the air intakes underneath the grille though. It sort of makes it look like the car has a massive underbite. Then we come to the sides. I like the flush door handles and the alloy wheel designs, which range from 19 inches to 21 inches. However, the creases on the bottom part of the door, which sweep upwards towards the rear, just don't look like they're blended in with the rest of the car's design. And then that brings me on to the rear of the car. There's something a little bit of the Jaguar XE about it. Can you see what I mean? What do you think about this car's new design? I'll put a pinned comment below the video for you to comment on. Let me see your thoughts. Anyway, the new BMW 5 Series is only going to get one petrol engine at first. This 520i has a 2-litre, 4-cylinder engine that makes 190 horsepower and 310 Nm of torque. It's also a mild hybrid. This means it has a small electric motor to boost the combined power to 208 horsepower, so an extra 18 horsepower. Mind you, it has an extra 20 Nm of torque, taking the total to 330 Nm. Now this 520i comes with an 8-speed automatic gearbox and rear-wheel drive as standard, just like the outgoing 520i then. If you fancy a full-on hybrid, you'll have to wait until early 2024 when the 530e and 550e arrive. These will come with between 50 and 60 miles of pure electric range. Well, that's according to what BMW says. Their actual real-world range will probably be a bit less. But what if you want to go full EV straight away? Well, obviously, you'll want the new i5. This comes in 2 different versions, and the least expensive is the eDrive 40. This has one electric motor driving the rear wheels. It makes 340 horsepower and 400 Nm of torque. Although there's a boost mode that gives you 430 Nm of torque when you engage launch control, which is obviously what I would do. But that's not all. There's also a much more powerful i5 M60. This adds another motor to the front wheels with 261 horsepower, so you get all-wheel drive and 601 horsepower combined. That's only 24 horsepower less than an M5 competition has. Yet this new EV actually has loads more torque than the M5 competition. 820 Nm in total. That is 70 Nm more than the M5 has, and it's 20 Nm more than you get in a Porsche 911 Turbo S. And we know how quick that car is. In fact, if you want to see a drag race between a tuned M5 competition and a Porsche 911 Turbo S, then click on the pop-out banner, which should be appearing in the top right-hand corner of the screen now. There's also a link to that video in the description if you want to use that instead. So, how quick is the new 5 Series? Well, the standard 520i does 0 to 60 miles an hour in 7.5 seconds. That's exactly the same as a new Mercedes E-Class with a 2-litre petrol engine. Anyhow, the i5 eDrive 40 is quicker than both those cars. It does 0 to 60 miles an hour in 6 seconds dead. That's a few tenths of a second quicker than a Mercedes EQE 350. That'll take 6.4 seconds. But what about the i5 M60? Well, even though it has almost almost as much power as an M5 competition and more torque, it's actually a bit slower. It does 0 to 60 miles an hour in 3.8 seconds. Though based on my experience with BMWs, they tend to accelerate faster than the manufacturers claim. But to find out exactly how quick the new i5 M60 is, please make sure you're subscribed to this channel and hit the bell icon to turn your notifications on. I'll be reviewing the car very soon and you won't want to miss that video because I'll sure as heck be timing how quick it is. The old BMW 5 Series looked pretty sensible on the inside, but it wasn't very exciting. This new car looks completely different. It's like a mini 7 Series. The most obvious feature is the huge widescreen infotainment system. But before we get into that, there is something else you need to know. BMW got into some hot water recently after it offered monthly subscriptions for certain features in its new cars. You had to pay extra each month if you wanted heated seats, for example. Well, good news everyone, you get heated seats as standard in the new 5 Series. You won't have to pay a subscription if you want a warm bottom. You also get sport seats at no extra cost because all UK cars come in M Sport trim. There is no standard trim available. And you can get these sport seats with faux leather called Vejanza. They've really called it Vejanza. Anyway, you can also get the car with full leather if you prefer, especially if people ask you the name of the trim of your seats. Vejanza. You can also get the dashboard with aluminium, carbon fibre or wood trims. And don't forget the optional crystal knob upgrade. As well as a crystal knob, you also get the rotary dials replaced with shiny crystal ones. All very nice. You can also get the car with an optional panoramic glass roof. This is the first time this option has been available on a 5 Series. Meanwhile, if you go for the i5 M60, you get some new seats and seat belts with M-coloured bits. And there's a new steering wheel with a red centre stripe. Not enough M-ness for you? You can even program the standard ambient lighting to match the colours of the M logo if you really want to show off. The new i5 eDrive 40 and M60 both come with the same battery pack. It has 81 kilowatt hours of usable capacity, which is slightly less than the 89 kilowatt hour battery pack you get in a Mercedes EQE 300. This might be one reason why the BMW i5 eDrive 40 has a slightly shorter range than the Mercedes. BMW says it will manage between 296 and 362 miles on a full charge. The highest range Mercedes claims for an EQE 300 is just over 375 miles. However, the more powerful BMW M60 tops out at between 282 and 320 miles. That's less than an eDrive 40, but a bit further than the 280 miles Mercedes claims for the AMG EQE 53. The new 5 Series comes with a massive widescreen infotainment system as standard. Okay, so it's not quite as big as the super screen you can get in the new Mercedes E-Class, but it comes with plenty of technology that I think is even cooler. There's all the normal stuff like Apple CarPlay, Android Auto and wireless charging. And yes, all these come as standard. You can also use your phone or smartwatch as a key to open the car, and you can share the access code with up to 5 people. You can also connect the car to your Amazon Alexa at home so you can control smart devices while you're driving. And you can even stream videos from YouTube on the central screen when the car's parked, obviously. Doesn't work when you're driving. Okay, so passengers in the front don't get their own screen like in the new E-Class. But this BMW has something better. A built-in games console. Yep. BMW has partnered with Air Console to give the new 5 Series a bunch of built-in multiplayer games. Probably so you have something to do while you wait for the car to charge. You can just scan a QR code on the display, then use your phone as a controller to play 20 different sports, racing and puzzle games on the big screen. Even though the new 5 Series is absolutely rammed with technology, it's still going to be very practical. Why? Well, it's a lot bigger than the old car for starters. And that car wasn't exactly small. BMW has stretched its new 5 Series so that it's now 97mm longer than the old model. It's also 32mm wider and 36mm taller. The wheelbase, which is the distance between the front and rear wheels, is also 20mm longer than in the previous 5 Series. And most of this extra length is to make sure backseat passengers have more space than ever. It's not like the old car was cramped in the back either, is it? It isn't such good news when it comes to boot space though. This new BMW 5 Series has a 520 litre boot, which is 10 litres less than you got in the old 5 Series. The i5 has to make do with just 490 litres because the motors and batteries take up space underneath the boot floor. If that sounds a little bit tight, don't worry, BMW has confirmed a new 5 Series Touring will be along in spring next year. BMW has given the new 5 Series plenty of technology to make it drive better than ever. All UK cars will come with M Sport specification, which means they get stiffer springs and lowered suspension as standard. This sporty setup makes them 8mm lower to the ground than the entry-level car that's available in Europe. What's more, if you go for the electric i5, you actually get self-leveling rear air suspension as standard on all versions. You can then go one further by paying extra to get adaptive dampers fitted to the car, though if you get the i5 M60, they come as standard. That model also gets active anti-roll stabilisation to help stop the car leaning in fast corners. To be fair, I've seen all this stuff on many cars before, but the new 5 Series has one option that's totally new to me. In fact, it's a first for BMW as well. You can drive the new car using your eyes. Well, sort of. This is all to do with the optional driving assistant professional pack. This will change lanes for you on a motorway if it detects slow moving cars ahead. It monitors your eyes and automatically steers the car for you once you've checked the door mirror for traffic. It'll even indicate for you. That could be a good thing considering the reputation some BMW drivers have. Anyway, this system works at up to 85 miles an hour, but it's not coming to the UK straight away. Of course it's not. BMW is releasing it in Canada, Germany and the USA first, before rolling it out in other countries. However, if you don't want to wait for that system, you can order a new BMW 5 Series right now here in the UK. The entry-level 520i in M Sport trim will set you back £49,850. That's just over £7,200 more than the outgoing 5 Series. Oh dear, still? I guess it does come with absolutely loads of new kit. The i5 eDrive 40 costs from £73,200, which is about £1,100 less than the cheapest Mercedes EQE. The i5 M60 is almost £100,000, with a starting price of £96,840. That's a lot, but it's still £18,000 less than a Mercedes AMG EQE 53. What is happening with new cars, especially electric cars? I hope you'll enjoy the video. If you did, give it a like. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you want to watch some more videos, I've picked a couple out for you there. I think you'll like. Just click on those windows to watch them. Or if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. You can do that just by hitting the carwow logo there. Simple.